Hello, welcome. Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for waiting to this point. I hope you enjoyed the live session. I am your host, Mbazo Chibuzo, and this is the question and answer session for the poultry farming and training we just had. And then I have with me our facilitator already. He is no other person than Mr. Opeyemi Samuel. Welcome. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, and thank you for having me here.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So that was a very, very powerful session you just had just now. Thank you very,
Mm,
very much. That was a lot of
yeah,
work.
thank you,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. So, in order not to waste so much time, I'll just go straight to the question, and then we hope to wrap up the question and answer session in the next 15 to 20 minutes. I hope that's okay.
All right, that's fine.
All right, let's roll. We have our
Hmm.
first question here from NM Tech. This person is asking, how do you treat coccidiosis in broiler chickens organically?
Okay, that's a good one. Even though it's kind of out of scope, we didn't quite mention organic poultry in the session. But
Yeah,
coccidiosis, we treat it using bitter leaf. If you just get bitter leaf juice, you get the leaf, you rinse it a
yeah,
little, then you blend it or squeeze it. The juice is what tackles coccidiosis. But you also need to know the dosage and how to administer it. If you have the juice, if you make it as thick as maybe a mango juice, then you
yeah.
can have 20 mils of that in 3 to 4 liters of water. And if you
Water.
eat it for
Okay.
3 days, they should be fine.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for
Mm.
that straight to the point answer. All right, let's go to the next
Mhm.
one. This question is from expert. Expert is asking, second. Okay, okay. This is like another question. It says, secondly, what are the main ingredients in a poultry feed? So this person is asking, what are the main ingredients in a poultry feed?
Okay. First, you need to consider the energy source, the protein source, then before the rest, vitamins, minerals, fat, and all that. So basically, we use maize as the number one energy source, and we use soya bean or soybean as the protein source. Then we supplement that with fish meal in some cases, that's the protein source.
Yeah,
For the energy, we have some oils too. We have plant oils that we use. That's
okay.
for the energy. And then we have the fiber sources. Those are your brands, your corn
Yeah,
bran, your wheat bran, and the likes. Then you have either your premixes or your micro ingredients. You have the lysine, you have the methionine, and the likes. So basically, you need to concern yourself about the source of protein, the source of carbohydrate, which is energy, and then you can just get your concentrate if you don't want to bother yourself about the premixes, about the lysine, methionine, because
yeah.
sometimes you can even be scared of getting the inferior ones. So you can just buy the concentrate and you mix it with the soybean and maize, and that will be fine. Just get the
Okay.
right proportion, and everything is okay.
All right. I just have a follow-up question to this. So, considering all of these things you just mentioned, do you think
Yeah.
it's cheaper to raise your chicken using your local, your own personally formulated feed, or you have to buy from the market? Which do you think is cheaper?
Okay, yeah. Somebody actually asked me this question some minutes before the live session. It
Wow.
depends on your skill. And we used to talk about something in school, even in secondary school. You say when you're looking at starting a business, you say nearness to the market, nearness to the raw materials. So
Yeah.
is the raw material, is it accessible to you? Is it close to you? So the answer is not the same for every farmer. If your own raw
Okay.
material is not available to you at least all the time, because it's not something that will be available in January and will not be available until July. You must have
Okay.
steady supply. So if you have
Supply.
that, you have tackled the first thing, and then you consider how much will it cost me to be moving the raw materials, maybe from your point of purchase to the point of from milling the feed if you don't get to mill it in at the same place. And if you are milling it at the same place, how much does it cost you to move it from there to your farm? If you are doing that, you check the total cost, the overall cost, everything put together, and you now compare it to the finished feed. Also, you compare the results. If you get 4 kg in 8 weeks with your finished feed,
Yeah.
are you getting up to 4 kg with your own self-formulated feed? So you put all those things together and then you can arrive at the answer that is right for you, because it's not the same answer for everybody. Sometimes when you just have about 100 birds to 200 birds and you consider the cost of getting the ingredient, the stress and all that, sometimes it doesn't justify the stress.
The
The result
stress.
does not justify the stress. But if you have about 500 to 1,000 birds, by the time you save 15 naira per bag, it's something at the end of the day. But if you
Yeah.
are only saving at the end of the whole cropping, if you're only saving, let's say, 5,000 naira, it may not be something that is worth it to some of us. But to some persons, I know 5,000 is still a lot. So they may want to say, okay, I will
Yeah.
do the stress. Maybe they are sending somebody to do all the runnings. So they won't mind. But if you are doing all those runnings yourself, sometimes you say, it's 5,000 really worth it. Let me just opt for this
Just
finish
do
fee.
it.
So
Just
all those things are the things you need to factor in. It's not just one answer for everyone.
all right. Great, great, great answer there. Thank you very much. Let's
You're
another
welcome.
question. This is from Bamiwo Sherifat Ahmed. Ahmed. All right.
Okay.
This person is asking, why is my egg size fluctuating?
Okay.
Me, say layers farmer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. There are basically, I think I would say, three main things that will affect your egg size. Three main. First is the quality of feed that you're using.
Okay.
Second is the whether there's a disease or not. And third would be stress. Stress, mainly heat stress, the environment and all that. If your chickens are not stressed and they don't have any, you screen them, you don't find any disease, you don't find Newcastle disease, you don't find some bacterial disease that can drop the egg size,
Egg production. Yeah.
then you may just be looking at your feed. Your feed may be lacking in whether methionine or lysine, you know, it's just that those three, if you screen for those three, you must find a culprit. Except maybe the birds are still very young, they are not of age. When they are starting, they start with the small eggs and the
Yeah.
egg size continues to increase. But in this case, you said it's fluctuating. So sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. So it might be the quality of feed, and it might also be the weather. Because if there is heat and they don't enjoy it, when there is heat, they don't eat much. The quantity of feed also matters. The quantity of feed they are able to eat per time, because they are required to eat up to about 110 grams per hen to
Yeah.
120 to 125, like I mentioned in the video, per hen.
Yes.
So you need to be able to also check how many hens do I have, how many bags of feed am I using, scale those bags of feed down to grams, and use the number of hens to divide it, and see if each of them is eating up to 110 to 120 to 125 grams per day. In most cases, I find that farmers only feed them with 95 grams, 100 grams, and that's not enough, because layers are very stingy. There's what we call the maintenance ration and there's the production ration. Maintenance
Okay.
ration means you are feeding them less than they need to eat to produce. So if you give them just 90 grams or 80 something grams, they will be looking healthy, perfect. That means they're
Yeah.
only maintaining themselves. You have not given them the ration they need to produce.
To
So
produce.
they are looking fine, but then they won't give you anything. They are very stingy. So until you give them the production ration, that's when they will lay enough for you. So maybe it might be the feed quantity. Maybe your
Quantity.
workers sometimes they just say these guys are not. And sometimes the reason why they're not eating enough is because the weather is not conducive. There's heat. So when there's heat, they will just be drinking water. They won't want to eat much. So you need to consider all those things. That's why some layer farmers have fans. They have ventilation fans in the house. During those hot flashes, they turn on the fan to blow out the heat. So if you consider those factors, the feed quality and quantity, the health status of the hens, and then the weather. If you consider those, you must find the culprit, definitely.
Ah. That's this is just a master class you just gave to us, and then it just just made me to remember that, oh, you already have a course on how to increase your layer eggs
Yeah,
productivity up
yeah.
to 96%. Maybe you want to talk about that now, because if you consider
Okay.
this master class here.
Trust me, I made that masterclass. It's something I've been pushing. I know you're aware of it now. I've been
Yeah,
pushing it for about 2 years or so. So I finally did it, I think last year, ending of last year.
yeah,
So
ending of
it's
last year.
it's my way, it's my way of answering a lot of questions that people want to ask. A lot of people want to go into layer farming, and these things are not
Yeah,
something you can just answer on the phone. And as much as I would like to help everyone, it's not possible for me to help everyone over the phone. So I need a medium where they can just go and get all those things. So that's the main reason why I put that master class together. And it is what I call it. It is a master class because
master class indeed.
you can't possibly take it and not be a master in. You can see what I just gave you now. So you can't possibly take it
Honestly,
and not be a
that's it.
master at the heart of
Yeah,
egg production. So if you're interested, trust me, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. No matter how much you pay, even if you pay the full price of that 5K, it's
yeah,
nothing to be compared to what you get. So, and it's been discounted to 50% down. So
yeah.
it's just a
That's right.
super plus for you. Yeah.
Okay,
I
guys,
believe you'll be leaving the link on the question
the
and
chat.
answer. Yeah, yeah. So that they can
Yes.
have
So
access
the
to it.
link is already there in the description. Those of you who would like to get
Okay.
his course, he has a full blown course on how to increase your egg productivity to over 96%. Like 96% in your farm is crazy. Like that's mind boggling.
Yeah.
So the link is in the description. You can click on it
You
and
might want to put it in
use.
the chat too because some people may be finding it difficult to
Okay,
navigate
okay,
through the
yes,
description.
you can do that, and then we'll pin that also. So if you have, if you wish to go into egg production, just click on that link, all right, and then get that course, right? It's already discounted. Use the coupon code Agro for Africa. Because of this program, he discounted it by 50%. Please take advantage of it. It's only for the first 50 people who will use Agro for Africa. AGRO 4, the number 4, then Africa, AFRICA. Use that when you're checking out. Use that coupon code and you get a 50% discount as you exit. All right. So let's go on with our question. Thank you very much, sir, for that discount. I've not had
Yeah,
time
you're
to
welcome.
appreciate you for that.
You're
This is
welcome.
something wonderful. Making this knowledge affordable and available to everybody is a huge one. Thank you very
Mm,
much. All
you're
right.
welcome,
So
sir.
let's go to the next question. This is from Philip Akanimo. He said, "Good day, sir. Thanks for this opportunity. Sir, I want to ask a question for producing maggots for our chicken. How long are we supposed to serve them the maggots?"
Okay. How long are you supposed to serve them with the maggot? First, I would like to say, what is the source of your maggot? Is it just the house fly that we have around, or are you talking about the black soldier fly?
Yeah.
Because if you are using the maggot generated from the house fly, I would prefer that you parboil it to destroy the germs and disease, whatever that you can have inside of it. So if you parboil it, for all these substitute that we have for feed, it's good that you follow the inclusion level. What we call inclusion level is there are people who have tested this substitute that you want to add. People have tested it and they have found a safe spot. That is, how many percent of it can you add to
Yeah.
replace what percentage of your feed?
Protein.
So you don't just come and just add everything because it's not everything that is good that you must do. Trust me. And some things are good. If you eat too much of sugar, it's sweet, it's
Yeah, it
nice.
becomes
But if you
bad for
have too much
you.
of sugar, it becomes bad for you. So I would advise that you go by 20% inclusion level for the maggot meal. That's the not the dry one, the wet one. And if you can also dry it, it's a plus for you. So you
Okay.
can give them from 1 week old. I advise you give them from 1 week old. You can give them to any time, 4 months, 2 months, 3 weeks, anytime. Just give them. You can give them on a daily basis, 20% inclusion level, and you'll be fine. It's a good source of protein and good fat.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful answer. All right, we have another
Mm.
question here. This person is asking, how do you know when to change your chicken feed from mesh to grower feed to finisher feed? All of those stages of feed.
Okay, because you have mentioned finisher, then I think I'm sure you're referring to broiler feed.
Yeah,
So, and when you say mash, I want to believe you want to say starter because
starter
grower can be in mash form, finisher can be in mash form. So, if you mean starter, grower, and finisher, that's three classes of feed for the
feed.
broiler. You just use the starter for about 2 weeks, maximum of 3 weeks. Then you use the grower to, it depends on when you want to slaughter the chicken. You use it
Okay,
until 2 weeks before slaughter, 2 to 3 weeks before slaughter. For example, you might be slaughtering your own at 4 months. So you use it for another 3 months. That's if you have used
wow.
the starter for 2 weeks, you use the grower for 3 months. That means you have just 2 weeks left. Then you use the
2 weeks
finisher.
left.
So just know that you use your starter. What's most important is the starter for 2 to 3 weeks, then the grower for up to 2 to 3 weeks before slaughter, then you use the finisher to finish their life.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that. Let's see another question. This question is from Emmanuel Lucas. So Emmanuel Lucas
Okay.
is asking, how do you make layers get used to cage, especially their water nipple? I have had to improvise drinkers in the past because the birds are unable to use the nipples.
Okay. Sometimes we get too worried. We don't allow nature to have its own course. If they are not too small for the cage, then you
Okay,
don't need to worry yourself. That's why they use bright colors for nipple drinkers. It's either red or yellow in most cases. So if you cage your hens, your pullets
yeah,
at the right age, 12 to 14 weeks, they should be able to stretch and handle the nipple drinker. So if you cage them at the right age, just leave them. It only takes one of them to be curious enough to peck the nipple. Once that happens, the rest of them will learn. If it happens within a particular cell, you have maybe 3 to 4 ends there. One pecks and water drops, and it continues to
water.
drink. The rest will copy. The ones on the cell close to it will pick. Wow, what is happening there? They will check their own too. They will peck. So it's just the first day, the first 12 hours. Every one of them will learn, and that's one of the reasons why it's good to transport your hens during the cool of the day so that they will get to your farm. They can't really drink water immediately. Some of them will not be used to the nipple. So even when they don't drink water, they are still okay if you transport them in the cool of the day. But if you transport them when the weather is hot, they'll be already stressed out. They may not even have enough energy to be curious to be looking for water. So some of them will die. A lot of them will die. But if you
Yeah.
transport them during the cool of the day, you give them chance. They still have reservoir. They still have energy to say they want to start looking for water, and before long, before they are worn out, they will get where the water is. So I know you said you improvise. If the hens were not too small, maybe you were just too worried. You didn't allow nature to take its course. Normally, they will
Okay.
discover where the water is and they will get it.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Okay, so we have another question from Mosed Odola. He's asking, what makes broiler chickens to be as if they feel hard to breathe, as if they have a hiccup on 2 days? I think it has something to do with
Okay,
breathing issues.
okay. Um, on Tuesday, maybe are you saying day two? All right. I think this is most likely you are referring to CRD, chronic respiratory
CRD,
disease,
yeah, respiratory disorder.
and it's a problem that a lot of broiler farmers encounter. You can almost not do without it. It's possible for you to raise broilers and not see it, but maybe 90% out of the 100 times you try it, you encounter CRD. It might be mild and it can be severe. So it's just chronic respiratory disease, and there are treatments for it. One of the causes is stress. The major cause is stress. Once there is stress, some of these birds come from the hatchery with mycoplasma in them, and that's the organism that causes CRD. So whenever they are
Yeah.
stressed, that organism is just waiting for that period where their immune system is dropped, and stress
Drop
is
down.
one of the main things that drop the immune system of your bird. So once the immunity drops, mycoplasma just takes over and CRD will surface. So
Become
at
the
that
issue.
point, you need to treat it. Another thing that can cause it is when your litter is not dry. If it is caked up,
Ammonia.
lots of ammonia will be emanating from the litter, and even you yourself, you go close to the
Yeah.
litter, you
If
get choked.
check.
You can't enjoy it for 30 minutes. What about birds that are there for 12 hours, 24 hours, 2 weeks? It's a lot of stress for them.
Stress.
Another thing is when you are spreading new litter and new sawdust or wood shavings and you are doing it carelessly, you just throw the bag anyhow, and the dust that is coming up there.
Just increase.
So they can have this irritation and it can also trigger CRD. So if you take care of those things, then even if it surfaces, you just treat. We have treatments for it. We have drugs like the tylosin based drugs and others. There are a lot of them, and we also have organic medications for them. So it's
All
treatable.
right. All right. Okay, I think the network locked us out a bit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome back.
You can hear me, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go on with our question. All right. So we have
Mm-mm.
another question from Mr. Okay, I don't know if it's a Mr. or Mrs. I'm saying Abdulaziz. All right, Sadatu.
Is
Okay, it's asking
Mrs.
because coccidiosis in broiler is like a matter of time and seems to defy all efforts. I think it's a response to that question about coccidiosis. All right, let's see other questions here.
Coccidiosis. Yeah, I think I get what she's saying. It's more like she's saying it's inevitable. But trust me, you can actually do without it. It's still easier to tackle coccidiosis than it is to tackle um CRD, especially in dry season like this. For example, the birds that I am using for the raising brothers like a pro masterclass, they've not had any sign of coccidiosis since they came in. And this is because the litter has been dry. Trust me, if you can keep the litter dry, by whatever means you use, whether the weather favors you or whenever if the humidity is too high in rainy season, maybe you have to change it more often. But however you can do it, if you can keep the litter dry, it's possible to prevent coccidiosis. And also, I used to mention the fact that you can be given preventive doses of some medications. If you know that CRD or coccidiosis is something that always comes up on your farm, then before it comes up, maybe okay, usually by week 2, I used to have this thing. So by day 8 or day 10, just start giving that preventive medication, and you'll be able to prevent it if you give that preventive medication. So it's preventable actually.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that wonderful answer. Let me
Yeah,
go on and get more. My network is beginning to act funny. I'm using my
I
second
see.
device to join it.
I
Okay,
see.
so we have another question from still the same person. This is Abdulaziz also. Okay,
Okay.
he's asking, most small poultry farmers use the deep litter in housing the broilers, and replacing the litter is cumbersome, especially when it is more than 3 inches thick. Are small affordable cages available? Are there cages that are
Okay.
small yet affordable?
Okay, let me step in here. I think one of the major challenges that we have is that sometimes we get greedy. There are things that work when we are using the open house system of housing.
Housing
You don't
chickens.
have the closed house system is something that you can condition to whatever you want. You can allow the litter to be dry all the time. But when you're using the open
Yeah.
house system, you are at the mercy of the weather. If the weather favors you, then the litter is dry. If it doesn't favor you, it can be wet in just 2 days. So where we get greedy is we don't try to work according to what is available. That this house can take, on a normal day, it can take 300 birds, can take 3,000 birds, for example. But because of the
Yeah.
weather, you know that my litter will get wet in just 2 to 3 days. Instead of 3,000 birds that the house can take, just do 1,800. You have to
Mm.
understock. You understock so that whatever poop the birds are dropping, their dropping
Yes.
will not occupy the litter in a short
We hold
period of
the
time.
time.
And with that, you have peace of mind. You are only going to feed the number of birds that you're putting in there. You may not be using the house to its full capacity, but you have peace of mind. You'll be able to have your profit from whatever you're doing. You don't change litter too often,
Yeah.
you don't stress your workers too much, and you only feed whatever end or whatever broilers that you have inside the house. So you may just want to look in the direction of how many birds are you putting in that house. And when the litter is thick, it's an advantage, because if it is thick, you have the opportunity to rake it from time to time. You rake it on a daily basis, you give it more chance to dry up. The drier ones are under, then you push it up, and by the time you mix it from time to time like that, it's better. But cages are never affordable. Trust me, cages are never cheap. Maybe they are affordable, but they are never cheap. It's
Yeah,
usually
no,
higher.
I know.
Yeah, it's usually higher. You have to construct your regular pen, and then you still need to buy the cages and put inside. So they are never cheap if you want something good, because cages are of different grades, and you don't want that cost to push you to go and buy something that will get bad in the next 6 months or 1 year. You want cages that will last for 10 years, 20 years if you want to do anything cage, because whatever price you are paying is never cheap. It's never cheap. Even the cheapest one is not cheap.
All right. Thank you for that answer.
Yeah.
Let's see the next question. This is from Philip Akanimo. He said, as for
Oh.
organic medications, can we administer tajiri extract, ginger, and garlic serum and lab together in fermented feed at the same time since it is organic?
Yeah. This combination that you have just written here,
Yeah.
you can administer them together. They would work just perfectly.
All
And
right.
that's one
All
of the
right.
advantages of using organic medications. A lot of them can be added in the
Together.
water and in the feed together. The only area where you have to be careful is in storage. When you are storing them, don't add all those things together. But when you are serving it to the birds, you can add
Yeah.
most of them together.
All right. Okay. All right. The next question is from Emanuela Nkem. Okay. Where's the link for the masterclass. All right, please check the description box. Just check the description of this. You will see the link there. I'll also pin it in the
I've even
comments.
added it to the chat. Yeah, I've added it to
All
the
right,
chat.
so please do that. Thank you. And then once you click on any of the links, then you use the coupon code underneath. This is the coupon code. Let me display it here. All right, we've pasted it before. Agro for Africa. You type this as the coupon code as you check out, and you get a 50% discount. It's only available for the first 50 people, and after that, it's going to be retrieved back. All right, so that will be removed. All right, let's get another person. This is Bamiwo Sherifat Ahmed. He said, "Good afternoon. Sorry, please, I am asking this question. Why is my egg size fluctuating? I went offline." All right, please. You can always watch the replay of this video. We already answered this question. All right, Bamiwo, just rewatch it, and you get the answer to that question. All right. Okay, I think that's like all of the questions. Wow, that was fast. That was fast. All right. So we mentioned earlier that there are two courses. All right, one for broiler production and the other one is for layer chicken production. If you want to increase the productivity of your layer chickens up to 96%. All right, there's a course in the description box. Just check the description of this video right now. You will see two links, actually three. The first link is for the teaching that brought us to this question and answer session. The second link is for the broiler production class. Just click on it. It will take you to the checkout point where you add Agro for Africa as the coupon code. All right, add Agro for Africa as the coupon code. You can see there AGRO 4, the number 4. All right, Africa. All right, as the coupon code, and then you get 50% discount instantly. So, and that is only available for the first 50 people. So you want to rush as quickly as possible to get that done. Okay, so Mr. Opeyemi Samuel, it has been a pleasure hosting you on this show. Do you have any final things? You can even tell us more about your course. What's inside, so that people
Okay.
are.
Okay, I actually it's a complete course. For the layer course, for example, it takes you from, it answers your questions, even if you're a beginner or a pro. Trust me, there's no end to learning. And I have a
Yeah,
lot of people who have been raising broilers or layers in their thousands, and they took the course and they were like, wow, I never knew I was messing up on my farm. There is always something to learn. Reason is, this experience that I put into the course is not something I only got from raising layers myself. Is both from my own personal experience and from talking with farmers, consulting for farmers, so it's kind of broad. And somebody who
yeah,
dedicates his time to something, to knowing something, is different from somebody who is just doing it for the money. You are raising your layers, you are carried away by the eggs you are selling and all those things. You don't have enough time to research, to find out what works better. So somebody who is doing it, the objective is to know more and teach more. So you can never compare that to someone who is just doing it for the money. So you can trust that it's a broad something. And one other plus to it is that it's something that will continue to get better. The course platform allows us to put in even more content as we make more discoveries, or as we see the need to put something else. Maybe we've been receiving questions that touch on something else that was not discussed in the course. The platform allows us to put more videos, more case studies to help you even learn more. It could even come from your own questions. You can ask questions on the
yeah.
course. There's also a mentorship platform on Telegram that you can ask your questions. So if there are questions that prompt making new videos, then I'll just make it and add it to the platform. So the resources is more like it's unlimited. And for the
Upgrade
broiler,
never ends.
yeah, seriously. And for the broiler course, okay, for example, let me just talk about some of the things you find in the layer course. Some questions you ask are, okay, how many eggs can I get? Why am I not getting it? Trust me, you take the course. I mentioned all of the things, all of the factors that will ensure that you get that 96% production. it
Wow.
is achievable. So it's not left to you. Can you do what it takes to get it?
Execution. Yeah.
You could have some limitations, but can you go past those limitations? So it's now left to you. It's in your court. But I will help you to tell you this is what you should do to get it. And I don't think there is any result you want from your layer or egg production that is more than eggs. So if I can give you 96% production, then I think I've done
That's
the best I
that's
can
crazy.
do.
That's a
I know
crazy number.
you don't want your hens to be 4 kg. That's not your goal. The goal is to get eggs. Like even if I
Yeah.
can show you how to get two eggs per day, I know you'll be more than happy. But I'm sorry, I can't get that for you. It's not possible. So, but for eggs, trust me, you're going to get.
Yeah.
I have people that took the course, and before long they started reporting better production. So it's something
Wow.
that there's results. Even if you go to the platform now, you see testimonies and all that. So for the broiler course, that one is even
Yeah.
is is wonderful. That broiler course is ongoing. There's a set of broilers I took in to actually teach. So I revealed to you all of the secrets, all of the medications that I used, reason why I used this and that medications to prevent this. Like as I'm saying, I've not seen coccidiosis among the flock. And I will show you the drugs I use to prevent coccidiosis, the drugs I use to prevent
Yeah.
CRD, the feed. I'm weighing the feed that they take per day. That's a lot of work. I'm weighing the feed I'm giving to them per day, and I'm going to show you. So it's a case study that not many people will be able to tell how many feed that their ends that their brothers are eating per day. So it's a case study you are able to follow. So it's something
Accurate.
big on its own. And let me give you a secret. One of the things we talked about in the broiler course is that there are two goals that you should go after if you are a broiler farmer. Is that you are going for the health first or the weight first. Those who are doing the weight first are those who are raising the birds for just 5 to 6 weeks. If you
Five to
get
six
that
weeks.
result, just sell. The moment you are going after the 5 to 6 weeks, that's the weight first option, and you want to get greedy, you say, these birds are big, they're already 3.5 kg. If I can only push them for 2 more weeks, they will get to 5 kg. You are just started killing your birds because beyond 5 to 6 weeks, they will flop because there's a way
Okay.
that you push them to that place. If you try to push them beyond that, they'll start dying. Trust me, there's nothing you can do.
True.
They'll just start dying. And there's the
True.
health first. When you're talking about the health first, there's what you will do that you will ensure that even if you raise them for 1 year, they will still be alive. So all those secrets, I reviewed it in the course. And a lot of things I've not even talked about before, they are all there. I have some 9 principles that if you do, you are definitely going to get the result you are looking for. So it's just awesome, trust me.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Directly from the horse's mouth. When an expert is speaking, you just sit down and just listen. All right, that's what I
True.
do. But
I
I
know
want to
I
beg.
I know there is one of the reasons why I brought in the broilers is it's easy to talk.
Okay.
There are a lot of people that talk on Facebook, on Instagram, they post the videos. My birds are big, but they can't show us the process because some of those testimonies are not even true. So this is one of the reasons why I brought in the birds. I reviewed the dates that they came in. You watch the weight
Yeah.
per week and all those things. So you see that this is true. The same birds that I brought in on so date, you follow the process. So there's no way somebody will come and tell you that it's not achievable when you have seen it work for somebody. That gives you it even gives you a morale
Yeah.
to pursue it because you have seen it, you have seen that this is achievable. So I too can achieve it. And I'm also not only showing you that it's achievable, I'm showing you the process, exactly what I did to get it from day one to the
To
end.
get the result.
So it's all open to you.
It's this course. Look, if anybody that's not on this course right now, I don't know, you should be sent
You
to
must be
Sambisa
campaigning.
Forest.
You must be campaigning for Obi.
Yes, yes, the person must be very, very rich. If you are not already on this course, like if you are not already on this course, seriously, you are missing a lot. This
uh,
whole practical step. It's not easy to find somebody who is willing to take you step by step and not just the talk. This person is doing the talk. It's not just telling you do this, do that. It's actually showing you
Mm,
how he's doing it real time so that you too can copy every step and just go and replicate it. And that's the best thing that you can find in any course. I don't think there's any course like that outside there. I know I've been looking for
true.
courses like this in the past. I've not seen any. So make sure you use the link in the description box. The links are there. And then type Agro for Africa. Use Agro for Africa as the coupon code. And then you get a 50% discount instantly. If I were you, I'll take this advantage and this opportunity to buy the two courses at the same time. Because you're not sure if this thing will still be available in the next 1 week or 2 weeks. So just combine
It-
everything and check out immediately 50% of the actual price. So I want to just beg you, sir, for
mm,
one more favor. I just saw somebody dropped a question here. I feel maybe we should just take that
I've seen the
and then
question too.
and then we'll call it a day. Okay, this way you say after
Mm.
buying your point of lay pullets, okay, how do you make up for any possible poor care given to them while raising them to that point? Maybe like vaccination, etc. So how do you make up for that?
You see, this question is actually making my day. You know, as Nigerians, maybe it's only Nigerians. I'm not sure. I've not lived in other nations, but I want to believe it's Nigeria. You know, most times we are in a hurry to make profits. We try.
Yeah.
Maybe it's. I think it's mostly for small older farmers. Anybody who is doing the business in a small way, we are usually after the immediate returns. You know, there are businesses that you go
Profit.
into and 5 years you are not even looking for profit. But I think most poultry farmers, when they are getting point of lay, they just want to see eggs the second day. The next day the birds get to the farm, they want to see eggs. And that's where most of them enter into the problem. You know, you want to buy point of
Yeah.
lay and you're asking the farmer that you want 17 weeks or 18 weeks point of lay. Even if the farmer has 15 weeks, they will sell it to you as 18 weeks because you have
It's
just
up
told
to
them
you.
what you want to buy. And if they don't have 18 weeks, they know you will not buy, you will go and they want to sell. It's not
Definitely.
even
You have to believe.
that's not even bad enough. That's not even bad enough. You know, even if they are
Uh,
faithful and they sell you 17 to 18 weeks, trust me, they must have been out of finance from 14 weeks because
oh,
most people have a budget. They want to sell at 14 weeks. The reason why you met those ends at 18 weeks because they were not able to sell them. Either the prices they were offering them was not profitable and they were just pushing. And at that point, they will not feed the birds as they ought to. So you are
they
just
just
going
want to
to be
destroy.
buying birds that have suffered for maybe 4 weeks or even more. So my advice when people are telling me, I want the one that will just come and start laying the following week. I used to tell them, me, I'm not into that game. You better go elsewhere and buy it. My advice is buy the one that is just 14 weeks, maximum 15 weeks. Let the birds get to your farm and settle down. Give them about 1 to 2 weeks to settle down. You screen them from some diseases. They will get to your farm. Some of them will show sign of coccidiosis because they were raised on deep litter. Some of them will show sign of salmonella. You know, screen them for diseases. You may even take samples to the lab, test, know definitely that this is the bacteria in their system. Treat it. That's what you should try to do first. You ask the farmer if they have done all that they should do in terms of vaccine, but not all of them will be truthful. And that's why sometimes you just need to find a vendor. Sometimes you don't just do I too know. You want to come to Ibadan yourself from anywhere in the world and you want to buy by yourself. Sometimes just find a vendor that is trustworthy and you too be truthful. Don't tell them you will come today
Yeah.
and in ten months they don't see you and all of a sudden you show again and you come, they will just give you whatever is available. So if you want to
True.
get people who are truthful, you to be truthful.
Yeah.
So get them 14 to 15 weeks, let them get to your farm, screen them for diseases, treat
Okay.
them, give them your
And get
the three in
accustomed to your
one.
farm.
Yeah, give them 3 in 1 vaccine. You know, most times some people also ask, I want the one that has been given 3 in 1. You will not get that on many farms. The only case where you can buy 17 to 18 weeks and it's not even advisable, but let me explain something now. The only case where you can buy 17 to 18 weeks and it will be real 17 to 18 weeks and also they have been fed well is if the farmer is selling out of the whole flock, that they also have a portion of it that they are raising on the farm. You know, sometimes people want
Yeah.
to, they have the capacity to house 50,000 and they got in 60,000. And at the end of the period, they still have about 8,000 extra. So they want to sell the 8,000.
Want
You
to
are
sell off
sure that they have raised all the birds in the right way because they too are keeping part of them on their farm.
them
So in that case,
for their farm.
is you are getting good birds. But if you are transporting them over a long distance, it's still bad because at that time the hens are already setting into laying. You don't want to stress your birds whenever they are already laying or they are preparing to lay. Get them on your farm before they even start to form the eggs. If you do that, so you give them the allowance of 1 week, 2 weeks to settle on your farm, then the process of egg formation starts on your farm. Don't say I want the
Mm.
eggs fast. You can have like 5 weeks. Don't worry. It's all for 1.5 year of laying. Why are you
Yeah.
rushing? So do all those due diligence, be patient, be patient,
You just
and before
reminded
you
me
know
that meme. Why are you running?
it, so before you know it, after 5 weeks or so, the eggs will come in,
Yeah.
and the 90%, 90 something percent you are looking for will come. But don't ask people. If you want to ask anybody, don't ask me for 17 weeks old birds. Don't ask me. I don't
No.
supply that.
Wow, thank you for that wonderful answer. All right, so
Yeah, you're welcome.
Emmanuel, you have your answer there. You know what to do now, and then just do the right thing, please. Don't stop running. Why are you running? Yeah, you're rushing too. So just calm down and then just do the right thing. All right, we have Philip. Philip is
Mm,
saying thank you very much, sir, and God bless you. I think that's the final comment we have on this
man.
for this session. It's
Oh,
it's been
that's
a pleasure
lovely.
having you. Honestly, like this is a massive enlightening session, and thank you
Mm,
for showing up. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the teaching, the training session, and then all the questions you've taken. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very very much. And most
thank you for having
importantly,
me.
thank you for the 50% discount that you've given to all subscribers of Agro for Africa. Oh,
Aha.
lest I forget, please, DIY Agric, please, if you are new in this channel or if you have been following me, head over to DIY Agric and subscribe to that channel. All right, it's
Oh
currently over
yeah.
50,000. Is my boss. So just add up so that you can learn practically. Every other time he has videos or training sessions, he used to upload some valuable stuff, like mad valuable stuff that you cannot find anywhere. Just go on YouTube now and search for DIY Agric, all right? And then you will find his name there. All right, so you can always watch this playback. All right, you can watch this playback if you missed anything in it, and then watch it and catch up. So that's it, right, guys? That's all. So, do you have any final statement, anything to ginger the boys so they go and start their own poultry farms?
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll start with one of the questions that asked if farming is still profitable. Somebody asked that question.
Yeah,
I don't know if we okay, I think we touched it. So poultry farming is still
I saw
very
that question
profitable.
earlier, but I missed it. I can't find it again.
Yeah, I think I saw it. So poultry farming is still very profitable, and I'll give you a quick one. These broilers I brought in, if I were to sell them at the 4 weeks that people say, even though my birds already look bigger than most 4 weeks that you find in the market. So the 4 weeks, if I were to sell them at that 4 weeks, currently I will sell them for about 2,000 naira. And I got them in about, that was when they were still expensive. I brought in 4 cartons at around 120,000
Whoa.
naira. 120,000. And the feed so far is around 60 something thousand naira. This feed so far, that's about 6 bags that they have eaten now. And if I were to sell them for 2,000 naira, that's 400,000 plus with a few extra on them. 400,000 plus. And I've only spent about 200 and something thousand. Minimum profit I will get is 130,000 with medication, movement up and down to get whatever. I'll still get 120,000 in just less than 3 weeks. They are still 2 weeks and 4 days or 5 days. So in just less than 3 weeks, I can get 130,000 from a two something thousand business. That's over
Wow.
50% profit. So if you want to ask if that is profitable, I think you should answer it by yourself. And
You have the answer
I
already.
also
Just do the
like
maths.
I also like to help you to understand that the earlier you sell, the more your profit. In most cases, I'm going to tell you the other case. The earlier you sell, the more your profit because their feed conversion is better when they are younger. That's why people will do 5 to 6 weeks. If you sell around 5 weeks old and they're about 2.66 or thereabout kg, you are doing well. If you delay them, your profit starts to go down. And if you raise your bird for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, the profit will be low if you sell the way that those who sell 5 to 6 weeks are
Lesson.
selling. But if you sell
Yeah.
as though if you sell to premium customers, if you raise them for 3 months or thereabout, those giant broilers, if you sell to premium customers, those who are willing to pay anything, as long as the bird looks appealing, those who are willing to pay anything, they can pay 15,000, they can pay 12,000, then you can make your profit because at that time your mortality rate will also be a little higher than those who have sold their own at 5 weeks. So you need to factor all those things. It's not just about knowing how to raise the birds, you have to know how to sell. If you don't know how to sell, you may just be raising and wasting your time raising the birds. You have done the raising for 2 3 months and then you don't know how to sell. That's failure. So we need to understand these intricacies of the business and that will help you to scale. But trust me, poultry farming is profitable anytime, any day. And finally, I want to help you. Even if you don't go away with anything, if you don't take any of the courses that I've put out for you for almost free, if you don't take anything, there are three things that you need to know if you're a poultry farmer. And I'm not going to hold that back from you. Three things. You need the genetics of the broiler or layer, you need the feed, and you need to understand the environment that will favor their growth or their production. So for the
Yeah.
genetics, understand the good breed that will work for you. Don't just do it because don't just say, I just bought broiler. Broiler is not broiler. It's not in this age. Broiler is not broiler. There is broiler, there is broiler. So buy the breed that works for you. If you are raising them for just 5 to 6 weeks, there are breeds that are perfect for that. If you are raising them for months, there are breeds that are good for that. So buy the one that is good for you. That's for the genetics because you cannot bring out of the broiler what it does not have inside of it already. So if the bird, okay, for example, those who are, I think it's the Asians that are short. You
Yeah.
can't just wake up one day and say, oh yeah, be tall. It's not in them to be tall. No matter how much of beans you feed to them, they cannot be tall. So if your broiler is like that, even if you give the best feed,
Yeah.
nothing will come out of it. So that's the importance of genetics. You need to understand it and choose the right breed for you. And secondly, the feed is more like garbage in, garbage out. If you feed them with only chaff, some people will say, I went to the market and I saw people grinding corn and I just bought the chaff. I just mix it with some kuli kuli and those are the
That's,
things those are those are the
that's
things we
a
have
serious
tried now
story.
when we were much younger. My mom used to do those things. But we raised the birds for 6 months. So we never get to hurry for results. So you can do that, but you must not be in a hurry to get results. So the feed
Yeah.
is proportionate to the results you will get. Don't let anybody fool you. If you buy expensive feed that are good, you will still get that result. No matter how expensive the feed is, you will get your results. I was just talking about the broilers I have here. Five
Yeah.
or six bags of feed, they are only 2 weeks plus, but they look bigger than the 4 weeks birds they sell outside. So imagine that the feed is good. So if the
Very
feed is
wonderful.
expensive, but it justifies the cost, go for it. you can get the results. So that's for the feed. We talk about genetics, talk about the feed, and the environment is where you can actually adjust things. You can't really manipulate the feed that much if you're buying it, and you can't really manipulate the genetics. It's already in them. It's whatever you get. But for the environment, you can manipulate it. You can condition their environment to suit them. So they are panting. I say, I like the way these birds are doing. Oh, see how they are opening their mouth. You bring your neighbors and you're showing that my birds are active. They are dying. They are only telling you that they are only telling you I'm tired of Nigeria. I'm suffering. Help
I'm
me.
dying.
So that's not something
Seriously.
you should be silent about. You should understand when your birds are in their comfort zone and when they are not.
Yeah.
So if you understand that, you'll be able to adjust. You are raising broilers, you don't have thermometer, and you say you are brooding them by yourself. What are you doing? In
Mhm.
most cases, your body, your feeling can deceive you. If you are coming from the sun, you yourself, you're already heated
Yeah.
up, your body temperature has warmed up. So if you enter the brooding house, you may not really feel the difference in
The heat.
temperature as much as it should. So,
True.
when we enter there, most of the things that would depend on is how we feel about the place and how the birds are reacting. So sometimes people
Yes.
don't even understand the behavior of the birds. And some birds can be funny. Maybe they were hungry before and they just saw feed. They can forget about how they are feeling and they will rush, even though they will die after 20 minutes. They will still rush and go and eat. So sometimes you can also misjudge their reaction to feed and water and all that. But your thermometer will not deceive you. If you know the right temperature for your bird at their age, then get your thermometer. Just look at that. We are living in the age where data matters a lot. With data, you can say, okay, this thing is good, this thing is bad. So your thermometer is one of the things that will help you to judge at 34 degrees, 36 degrees, this thing is getting out of hand. So what can you do? Make sure their water is cool. So just condition the environment, make sure it's good for them. And if you do these three things, trust me, you don't need any babalawo to come and appeal or appease the God on your behalf. You have already succeeded. So that's my
Wow.
final one for you. And I think I've given you more than enough.
This is more than enough already. No more questions because I just realized that I never start from the first question. I was looking for this question. I know I saw it, but that network
Yeah,
stuff just made me start
yeah.
somewhere else. I sincerely apologize to all of you who have dropped one question or the other, but I've gone through the
Mhm.
questions and I realized that some of them have already been answered in the process of answering
Okay.
others. All right, so
Mm.
some of them have already been answered. All right, so and that's all, guys. Thank you very very much. Thank you. Philip is saying thank you. No, can Noila breeds be classified as broilers? Yes or no? Let's take this as a yes or no answer, please.
Okay, they are dual
That's one
purpose.
question.
So they are
Okay,
dual
say can the
purpose. So you
Noila
can't
breed
you
be
can't say it's
classified as
broiler.
broilers? Huh?
They are dual purpose breed. They are a dual purpose breed. They are good for both meat and for eggs. So they are more like in the middle. They are not
Intermediate.
broilers. They are not layers, but they
Yeah.
can they can give you good quality of layers,
Eggs
good quality
and
of
meat.
broilers. But they are not as good as broilers. They are not as good as layers. So that's it. For comparing them to brothers, they would need about 4 months to reach 3.5 kg. The maximum you can get them to is about 4 kg, and it's even rare. So you must have fed them well for about 4 months before they can give you 4 kg. And if you feed your broilers well for that 4 months, they can even give you as high as 7 kg. So that means they are not as good as broilers. But for
Yeah.
their ends, they can lay well. Some of them can even compete well with layers. But then if you compare them over the period of 1.5 years, they will stop laying early
Okay.
because they can't give you as much eggs as the layer will give you in a year. The layer can give you about 315 to 330 something eggs in a year. The noiler should
Yeah.
not give you up to 300, maybe 270 or thereabouts. So in the first
All
six
right.
months, it may look like they are competing well with the layers, but after a while, they will slow down. They will slow down.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really apologize for taking so much of your time. This stream is already 1 hour long. Jesus Christ.
I
We
think it's
said 15 to
worthwhile.
20 minutes and it's already 1 hour. That's what happens when you are with an expert that is very, very willing to dish out information. Because honestly, not everybody will want to spend this much time. That's the fact. They start looking,
True,
oh,
true.
my time is up already. I sincerely appreciate you, sir. Thank you very, very much for spending this much time with us. Thank you for all the knowledge you shared. And then, guys, please, the only thing, the good thing you can do for yourself now is after this session, just go to the description session and then click on the link there. Go and get his courses so that you'll directly be mentored by him. It's a lifetime stuff. All right, as long as he's here, he's going to continue to improve, and as he's improving, he's making sure that all of those new knowledge are available to you. So thank you all very much for joining this live session. I think I'm going to end it here. There's nothing more. There's no need to just go personal. All right. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you.
Thank you too for putting all this together. It's a wonderful thing that you are able to put it. No matter
Thank
how
you.
much if there's no platform for you to put it out, then it's just going to die with you. So thank you for making this platform available. I know everyone is benefiting from it, and you have done a good job. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Truly, a lot of people are already benefiting from it. I can see a lot of awesome comments in the comment section. And if you are just
Wow.
watching the replay of this, I also want you to leave a good review of this whole session in the comment section. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you in another session. Bye-bye.
Bye.